Everyone, welcome back to another great episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Today we're making carrot halwa, which is also in Gujarati gajar no halwa or gajrela. And when I'm making halwa, I'm not gonna skimp on my ingredients. If I'm making something healthy, I'll make it super healthy. But when I'm making halwa is supposed to be rich and good. So I'm going to show you all my ingredients. We're going to get started. The complete process of this video, if you're going to make this at home, is going to take you about an hour. So usually this would take, I don't know, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 hours. It takes a long time, but we're going to expedite it. So let's get started. I have 4 cups of shredded carrots. I have 2 tablespoons of homemade ghee or clarified butter. I have a video on that if you want to check out how to make it at home. We're going to be using about half a teaspoon to 1 teaspoon of cardamom powder, and that's completely optional. I love cardamom powder in my carrot halwa. We're going to be doing about 1/4 of a cup of almonds, 1/4 of a cup of cashews, and 1/4 of a cup of pistachios. And then I have 1/3 of a cup of sugar here, which we're not going to use completely. We will have to see, because the carrots look like they're very, very sweet. So we might need a tablespoon or 2. We are going to be using a cup of evaporated milk, a cup of heavy whipping cream, and we're going to be doing about 4 tablespoons of instant non-fat dry milk. Now you can use any brand. It doesn't have to be a certain brand. So let's get started. So into my pan goes the 2 tablespoons of clarified butter. We're gonna let this melt. Once we have it gets nice and melted, it's gonna get it will start once I get the oven or the stove on. Sorry about that. This is gonna melt really nicely. Once it gets really nice and hot, then we're gonna add our carrots in here. And you don't want to add the milk in right away either. You want to first cook up the carrots with the ghee, so it kind of I don't know how to explain it, but kind of stir fries it in a sense. It's not gonna become mush. By putting the milk in, I've noticed that the carrots become mush very quickly. So we're gonna add see how that sizzles? That's what we want. We're gonna add our carrots in there. You want to saute this for 3-4 hours, but you want to do it on medium high. You don't want to do it lower, because we don't want to steam these. We just want to get a nice little crisp layer on top of our carrots. So we're gonna let this go for about 5 minutes. After 5 minutes, this is what it should look like. You can see that the color has changed and the quantity has limited too, like it has cooked down a little bit. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and add the 2 cups of milk in here. Now I'm thinking, when I've done this I've got 4 cups of carrots, and we have a room. We'll see if I feel like it will add another cup, but at this point we are just going to do the 4-to-2 ratio, but we'll see. We can always add it a little bit later. We're going to make sure that we stir this, and then we're going to reduce the heat, and we're going to cover it. We're going to let this mixture cook for 20 minutes. This is what it looks like, exactly 20 minutes. And I'm telling you, I never time things, but I have my timer going. So 20 minutes, and you can see that there's still some liquid in here. So this would be the time that we're going to add our powdered milk, and if you want, and I'm going to add my cashews first, just because I want the cashews to be soft, and the other ones we'll add later. So I've added my cashews in here, and I'm adding the 4 tablespoons of milk powder in here. Stir this. We're going to cover this again for another 15 to 20 minutes. We're going to come back and see how dry it looks. Once it's gotten to the point where it's really nice and dry, we'll add our sugar in there, our cardamom, and our pistachios, and our almonds. So I've cooked this 10 minutes covered. And then I took it off, took the cover off, and I've been just cooking it for another 10 minutes. And you can see that it's leaving the sides completely, and the milk has dried up completely, and it has given out this wonderful, beautiful orange color carrots. So at this point now, what I'm going to do is go ahead and add my cardamom powder in here. I'm adding about a tablespoon of sugar because I don't want it overly sweet, and I did try it before the sugar we put in, and it needed a little bit, but it didn't need too much. So I am going to give it a try after we add our sugar. I'm just going to wait for it to melt. So I added my pistachios in there. I'm just going to reserve some for the garnish. I'm going to also add a little bit of my almond flakes in here. You want to make sure that you add just a pinch of salt in here, and that is going to enhance all those flavors. It's going to come together and going to taste amazing. So now let's go ahead and plate this. All my halwa in here, and I just can't believe, I think my carrots were so good and super sweet that we didn't have to add too much sugar in there, and I'm so happy with the color also. So at this point, I'm just going to add a little bit of my pistachios on top for decoration. Okay, and then we're going to top it up with some. So I got my almonds on there, I got my pistachios on there, and I'm just so excited to dig right into it. Really, this is, wow. It's so much better than the store-bought because it's rich and it's not super powering sweet that you feel sick from eating it. And then we've also loaded it up with cashews, pistachios, and almonds. I'm telling you, give it a try. Let me know how it goes. Thank you so much for joining me on this episode of Raihana's Cuisines. Hope you can join me here next time with another great video. See you then, friends.